So how does this tax actually work? Why does it feel like it's taking everything? Well, the state takes a snapshot of the billionaire's wealth. So they're going to look at G stock portfolio, ooh, take a snapshot at the end of 2026. That's what they did. And they're going to send a bill for 5% of that pile, not 5% of their income, but 5% of everything they own above $1 billion. So that includes any art you have, any intellectual property, and any stock you own, including shares that allow you to vote. So you could literally own 10% of the company, but on paper, it's seen as 60% because of the voting power of the stock. So they look at it as we're going to tax 60%. For example, the average American may have $10,000 in the bank, but they may be worth $710,000 because they outright own their home. They're getting taxed on 710,000, not on the 10,000 they actually earn. Does that make sense from that perspective? And
Yeah, that's awful.
that's what they're doing. Maybe not the best example because they say your house and retirement accounts are safe, but everything else is on the table. Your business is on the table, what it's worth, your company stock, your art, patents, marks, even part of what you put into trust. You see, Annette, they're creating these formulas to figure out what that's worth so they can tax it. So if you're a founder with special voting power in your company, which most founders are, meaning they give out a lot of stocks, but they still keep a lot of voting power, they're looking at that voting power, and let's say that voting power gives you 60% control. They're going to tax you as if you own 60% of the company. That's how California is doing it. Like I said, it can be
Oh,
confusing. So in essence, if someone really owns 10% of their company but control 60% of the votes, you can get taxed as if you own 60%.
that's absurd.
Now, if your company is losing money, the law pretends your profit is zero instead of negative. So you get treated like you're doing fine and you're taxed like a winner even while you're bleeding cash. So there is no negative, meaning if you're losing money, they don't view it as like zero, breaking even. That's how they view it. So when you stack that wealth tax on top of capital gains taxes, you sell enough shares to cover the bill. Some founders end up owing a third, half, or even more than the entire value of their company to pay this tax off. And the people putting this on the bill know this and they don't care. So when a so called 5% billionaire tax is set up, some people have to sell more than their whole stake just to pay it. Is that really a tax? Or is it the government quietly testing how much confiscation voters will tolerate? Right now, it's the rich pay your fair share. So the average working class with eighth grade graduation level can go, yeah, yeah, not realizing this isn't really a tax, but a test for the government to see how much of what you own they can take. Isn't that what we're seeing here, G?
Absolutely. And eventually, hey, it worked one time. Let's take another 5% and let's take another 5%. Maybe give a better example so that the average person out there can understand it. Let's say you bought a house for 500,000 20 years ago. Now it's worth 2 million, but you're still making $100,000 a year, right? So you're still paying a mortgage that's maybe 2,000, 2,200 a month because you refinanced along the way. Now California comes along, and of course it doesn't affect you yet, but they come along and say, hey, look, we're going to take 5% of your home value. So you owe us $100,000. Well, wait, you don't have that money in the bank. So you have to give a whole year's salary, which is 100,000 a year. You got to give that whole year's salary in order to keep your house.
Exactly. It's a great
Because the
example.
Democrats came back and said, you owe us 100,000. So you don't have the cash. What do? You sell your house to raise 100,000. It's ridiculous. And then you got to pay capital gains on the gains on the house. This is some money grabs.
It's an asset grab. It's not just
Asset grab.
money, it's an
Yes. Right.
asset grab too.
So what are they going to do? Look at what Hochul in New York, what was it, 4 years ago? If you don't want to pay our taxes, move to Florida. Well, what happened? They all moved to Florida.
Hey, everybody, this is William Del Pilar, founder of Grumblings Media, and I want to say thank you for watching our content. If you want to support our all volunteer efforts at Grumblings Media, smash the subscribe button right here. 100% free, and please consume and share our great content. Click either one of these two boxes for more of our work.